My first goal setting book, How to Effectively Set and Achieve Your Life Goals, read by me, Anthony Donnelly. Introduction. Do you wish to lose weight? Perhaps you wish to get a better job, make more money, travel abroad, gain more confidence, do better in exams, find love, stop smoking. If you've ever wished for positive change in your life, this short, easy-to-read book will help you navigate that journey and create the life and lifestyle you've always wanted. Whatever your age, whatever your circumstances, you're never too old or too young to start making a positive difference in your life and the lives of those around you. I've been very fortunate to have been able to work with people around the world of all ages for over 2 decades now. I've witnessed firsthand how setting proper goals, creating a workable action plan, and developing the daily habits to achieve those goals have changed many people's lives for the better. A word of caution though, there are no shortcuts to success. Just writing down your new goals will not make them happen. This journey is going to take effort and work on your part, but I'll be sharing with you tips and techniques that will make this process fun and seem almost effortless. So why did I write this book? Well, the answer is quite simple, because I set a goal to research and write a simple guide to help people, young and old, to improve their lives. On a deeper level, it had been a wish of mine to do this for quite some time, but I hadn't acted on it until now. For over 2 decades, on and off, I've worked in the field of people development, and a lot of my work with clients of all ages in different parts of the world has involved creating and setting goals. If I had a resource to give my client, instead of personally explaining what to do each time, I would have saved an awful lot of time, but as many of you can relate to, I was too busy being busy and never actually got round to writing it. Whilst meditating and stepping out of my business for a while some months ago, the title of this book came to me, and I decided enough was finally enough. I had to stop dreaming and wishing and procrastinating and finally take action and set down a goal. To research, plan, write and publish an effective, easy-to-implement goal-setting book for all ages by the end of 2016. Well, I've achieved my goal. Now it's time to help you achieve yours. I thank you for investing your time in reading and using this book. Are you ready to get started? Let's take that first step. Failure to plan is planning to fail. Chapter 1. Why set goals? Some people set and achieve goals easily. It seems like they simply have a gift for getting things done. But for most of us, that's not the case. For us, the constant bombardment of distractions via our phones, email, television, socialising and work or school seems to swallow up all of our time. It's a wonder we manage to get anything done at all. But we do get things done, and that's good news. Because whether we realise it or not, that means we have been setting goals. What? You've been setting goals your whole life? Yes, that's right, but you weren't consciously doing it. Well, not most of the time anyway. Think about that for a minute. Everything you've ever done started with an intent or desire which you then acted upon. From making something to eat, to planning a holiday, or even catching a train, all your actions are based on goal setting. We're all hardwired to set goals, but most of us don't make this a conscious activity. Often, especially when it comes to advertising, we're subconsciously motivated to act upon desires and intentions that are part of corporations' goals. Human behaviour is so subtly influenced that more often than not, our actions and goals in life are not actually our own. But that's topic for another book. So why should we learn to consciously set goals? Well, if that wasn't enough reason, there are many reasons to consciously set goals, probably as many as there are people, because goals are usually quite personal. There's a good reason for that. If a goal doesn't mean something to you, you probably won't persist long enough to actually achieve it. If you don't have a reason why, or the reason why you want to achieve your goal isn't strong or large enough, you'll most likely fail. I cannot stress enough how important, essential even, it is to have a powerful motivating reason why. We'll cover this in more detail a little later. If you don't set goals for yourself, somebody else will set goals for you. Every medal winner at the Olympics, every successful business and business owner, every A-list actor, every famous musician, every explorer, I could list countless examples, but all of these people achieved what they did because they set goals, created plans, and then took action towards their goals until they finally reached them. They didn't teach goal setting in school. I think most people agree that the education system needs to be reformed. People are still being educated using techniques and principles from over 100 years ago. Personally, I think speed reading, memory techniques and goal setting should be added to the curriculum immediately. I can only imagine that the reason authorities haven't added them to the curriculum is that they don't want our children having access to this information, which I think is completely wrong. This book is my small contribution to combat this. If you've been waiting for your wishes and dreams to come true but nothing's happened so far, it's most likely because you're leaving it up to chance. You've already taken the biggest step in changing your behaviour and your life by investing in this book. But as said earlier, just reading this book won't change things. You'll have to put some activity in. Are you ready to start taking charge of your life and take responsibility for where you're heading? Start making some notes of the things you want in life, as we'll be getting to those in the next few chapters. Won't setting goals take the spontaneity out of life? Some people think they have to set goals and plan out their whole lives, but that's not what I'm suggesting you do. You are only in control of your thoughts and actions. The world will still carry on around you. There'll be opportunities and surprises in your life still, events beyond your control. But setting a few goals in certain areas of your life and having an action plan will help to keep you on track. If anything, you'll probably appreciate the spontaneous moments of your life more because you're setting goals. Go for that random drive in the countryside. Check out a new restaurant. Talk to that interesting-looking stranger, but don't get too distracted and fall back into old habits. The real question to ask is, why not set goals? Once you finish reading this book, you'll quickly realise how simple and easy it is to incorporate the practice of goal setting into every area of your life. What's more, once you start seeing results, and that they only took a little bit of focus and effort on your part, you'll want to start setting more ambitious goals. Trust me, it's fun, and if you haven't been setting goals before, what have you got to lose? Just imagine how much more you could actually achieve in your life if you actually set goals and work to attain them. Chapter 2. The Swot Analysis. Originally invented in the 1960s by Albert Humphrey, the SWOT analysis was exclusively a business planning tool. When I discovered it in the late 1980s, I immediately saw application within the personal development field and started using it. It has proven highly successful ever since, both personally and with clients. Its effectiveness lies in its simplicity. On a single sheet of paper, you can get a complete overview of your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, hence SWOT. Very quickly you'll see how you can lay out your current situation on one sheet of paper and gain an overview and insight into your life. What does the SWOT have to do with setting goals? There are quite a few resources online about setting goals, but they don't comprehensively cover the whole process and preparation required to stack the odds in your favour to actually achieve your goals. It isn't simply a matter of having a goal, writing it down and then working towards it. You have to plan for the unknown. The SWOT serves multiple purposes. 1. It makes you think about your current situation and analyse your life. 2. It can reveal other possible goals you hadn't consciously been aware of. 3. It will establish if you lack or need any skills or experience. 4. It will highlight any potential problems that exist. How do I use this? Simply take a piece of paper, plain or lined, and divide it into 4 sections. At the top of the page, write your focus point. It could simply be where I am now, or it could be making money, just something to focus your attention. Next, in the upper left-hand box, write the heading Strengths. Opposite that, in the upper right-hand box, write the word Weaknesses. In the bottom left-hand box, write the title Opportunities, and opposite that, in the last box, write Threats. You're going to need about 15 minutes or so to complete this exercise, more if you've never really analysed yourself before. Try and make sure you find somewhere that has as few distractions as possible where you won't be disturbed. As an example, we're going to look at a general SWOT with no specific focus apart from where you are now. Strengths and weaknesses. These 2 headings are personal or internal points, i.e. they're mostly within your control to change. Try to be as honest as possible and list as many bullet points under each heading. A strength might be that you're personable or have many skills. A weakness might be that you only have a basic education or lack money. If you're having trouble coming up with answers, think of people you know that you admire. What qualities do they have that you like? Do you have similar strengths? Likewise, think of people you don't like or think are weak. Do you have any of their attributes? You're not writing an essay here, just short bullet points, and you can take as long as you like to complete this as fully as you can. If it's your first time doing this, you'll probably want to keep this list with you and add to it over the next few days as more ideas come to you. Many people go to sleep with a pen and paper beside their beds so they can write down things they think of as they fall asleep. Don't rush it. The more seriously you look at your current status, the more helpful this will be later on. Sometimes writing down a strength will trigger you to think of a weakness, and vice versa. Be patient, but don't get frustrated. If you don't immediately start writing down lots of stuff here, it takes time and practice, and isn't easy to analyse yourself for the first time. Opportunities and threats. These headings are external points, things that are happening around you or could happen. An example of an opportunity might be that there's a promotion available at work, or there's a new networking group just started in town. Threats could be changes in the economy, other people wanting to do what you do. Here's where you can start to dream a little or focus on your goals, as they will probably spring from the opportunities you see around you. Again, this may not come easily to you. Don't rush it. Take the time you need and fill it out as fully as you can. Now I'm going to give you an example of a more specific SWOT that focuses on the goal of raising an additional £1,000. The points listed are far from being exhaustive. There are many more that can be added, but if you're having trouble thinking of bullet points of your own, some of the answers may jog your memory. Strengths. Willing and able to learn new skills. Humble enough to do anything. Physically fit. Big circle of friends and family. Weaknesses. Not much free time. Family commitments. Social commitments. Don't drive. Opportunities. Cut lawns. Clean cars. Rake leaves, etc. Write a book. Sell some items I no longer need. Get a part-time job. Threats. Other people looking for more money. The economy. At this point, you may want to keep reading and move on to the next chapter to learn about the next process of goal setting, or you may prefer to spend some more time filling out your SWOT. It's totally up to you. This is your journey. Take it at your speed. If you're totally new to goal setting, why not read through the whole book? Then when you go back and read it the second time, you'll be able to fill in more details. This is a book to refer back to as you progress. Dream big dreams. Zig Ziglar. Chapter 3. Smart Goals. If you've listened this far, you will have learned why setting goals is important. Hopefully you've completed your SWOT analysis. Don't worry if you're new to this and you haven't yet. You can add to it over time. And you've probably got a whole bunch of goals, maybe even some new ones. Now let's look at quantifying your goals. There are many starting strategies for setting goals, but for the purposes of this chapter, I'm going to assume you're a total beginner. As with other parts of this book, if you're more experienced, please feel free to skip ahead. A goal is a wish with a date that's acted upon. Compared to the previous ones, this chapter is rather long, as it covers the meat, the substance of setting goals. For this reason, it is split into two sections. The first gets you to focus on things you'd like in your life or things you'd like to change, helping you to create a wish list in various areas of your life. The second section will give you the structure to formulate those wishes into concrete goals. As said earlier, if you have already had experience setting goals, you may just want to skip ahead to section 2. Or you may want to just read on as a refresher. You never know, you might read something new. Section 1. Start with a wish or a want. Do you remember in the introduction when I mentioned about writing this book, I said it had just been a wish? Well, I'd like you to start writing down some wishes and wants in your life. Get a pen and paper and make a list of the things you'd like to do in your life and the things you'd like to have. To help you think of things, you might want to consider the headings below to set goals in different areas of your life. It's often best to start with a big picture and then set smaller goals to achieve that end result. Start by thinking 10 or 20 years into your future. Where would you like to see yourself in these areas? Personal. How do you picture your ideal life? Professional. What do you want to be doing as a career, business, or work-wise? Educational. Is there anything you want to learn or experience? Family. Are you happily married? Do you have children? What does family mean to you? Leisure. How do you spend your free time? Is there a leisure activity you've always wanted to do? Do you travel abroad? Where? How? Health and fitness. Do you want to run a marathon, lose weight, stop smoking? Giving back. Is there anything you'd like to do for your community, friends, family? What legacy ideas do you have? The list above is far from exhaustive. There are many more categories, but those are the main ones to be focusing on for right now. Why not hit pause and start making your list now? If you knew you couldn't fail, what would you attempt? This is the fun part. This is the time to let your imagination run wild. This is the important part. Remember, we are now starting to lay the foundations of what will become your future. If your future is important to you, isn't it worth investing as much time and effort into it now? Take as much time as you need. Section 2. Now that you have some wants and wishes, let's solidify them into a goal statement. You may have noticed the chapter heading mentioned SMART goals. Well, in this section you're about to learn what those letters stand for and how to use them in writing out your goal. First, I'd like you to choose just one of your wishes. As our example here, we'll use the wish to have more money, which is rather vague and ambiguous, as wishes and wants usually are. Using the mnemonic SMART will turn this into a much more positive and powerful statement. We'll cover each letter below. S is for specific. Exactly how much more money? M is for measurable. Can you track your progress? A is for attainable. Is it realistic? R is for relevant. Do you really want it? And T is time-bound. When will you achieve it? Note, over the years many different words have been used, but those above are the ones I most commonly use. Now let's apply them to our vague wish of wanting to make more money. It's important to state the goal in the positive, as if you have already achieved it. I will generate an additional £1,000 by March the 31st so I can take this book into schools and educate children how to set and achieve their goals. As you can see, this is much more specific. It's measurable, as you'll know how much additional money you're generating over the time period. It's realistic, at least to me. It's also relevant, and it has a completion date. It is also motivational to me, as it will allow me to achieve a secondary goal of taking my goal-setting book into schools to help children. Here are some more examples to help you formulate your own goals more positively. Other examples. Instead of, I want to lose weight. Over the next 12 months, I will consistently lose weight until I reach my desired weight of X by date, and will be happier and happier as I realise I can maintain this new weight easily. Instead of, I want to quit smoking, I will be smoke-free on or before date and will have substituted the habit of smoking with a more positive, productive one. Instead of, I want to go travelling, between now and date I will visit X, Y and Z and have an amazing time experiencing new people, places and cultures. Instead of, I want a boyfriend or girlfriend, I know my perfect match is out there and I will meet them and be with them by date. Instead of, I want a new job, I will be working for company X, doing Y, by date. What do I do now? Hopefully you've seen enough examples to allow you to formulate your wish or want into a SMART goal statement. If you haven't already written it down, that's the next step. Type it out or write it down. Now read it to yourself out loud. It's very important that you write it down, as that proves your conviction. If you're not prepared to make it physical by writing it down, I very much doubt you're going to put much effort into making it real. Likewise, if you're serious about realizing your goal, you're going to have to hear it over and over again. So if you're too afraid to read it out loud when there's nobody around, will you have the courage to do anything about it when people are? How do you feel when you wrote it down? If this is your first time and you felt a little weird or nervous, that's normal. It's probably just the excitement of taking the first big step towards changing your circumstances. How did you feel when you read it out loud? Many people feel embarrassed the first time they read it out loud. Some feel empowered, as it's the first time they've heard themselves say something positive for a long time. This is an important step. Much advice about goal setting stops there, merely stating that you need to break your goal into smaller goals that become your action game plan. Hardly any information about achieving your goals mentions passion, overcoming obstacles, and qualifying your goals. In the next chapter, you're going to learn the true secret of realizing your life goals. Chapter 4. Qualifying your goals. For some people, it will be enough for them to have written their dream down as a SMART goal. Their minds will have already thought about the smaller steps needed to achieve what they want. They will feel empowered enough to work diligently towards their outcome every day, and most likely they will achieve their goals in the time frame they set. But what about the rest of us? What can we do to stack the odds of success in our favour? Why is your goal important to you? Most of us focus on the what and the how, but rarely give much thought to the why. Why do you want this goal? Why is it important to you? By mining down into the real reason why you want this, you'll tap into your inner passion, and it's passion that drives almost every single successful person. This is such an important element, I'm going to write it down again. Passion is the fuel that drives every single successful person. One of my favourite expressions is below, because it's true. Those that know how always work for those that know why. Think about it. Have you ever heard a colleague at work complaining that they know way more than the owner or the boss or the manager, but earn far less? It's because they know why. Successful people like Richard Branson don't know everything, but they do know why they do what they are doing, and they surround themselves with the knowledge and experience, the know-how, to achieve that why. Write down at least 5 reasons your goal is important to you. At this stage, you're going to find out if this is your goal or if you're really only doing this to please someone else. When you take some time and think about why you're embarking on this journey, you should create a list of drivers, things that are going to keep you on track when the going gets tough. To help you with your list, below are my 5 reasons my goal to write this book is so important to me. 1. It's been an unfulfilled goal for far too long. 2. I want to share my knowledge and experience with more people. 3. I feel great when I think about people improving their lives from reading this book. 4. Having this book in print will make part of my work easier, as I will be able to give people a book to read first, then coach them more directly and personally afterwards. 5. This book is a stepping stone to bigger things I have planned for next year and beyond. Try and be as honest and specific as possible, and take as much time as you need. Read what you've written. How does it make you feel? It should make you feel inspired and uplifted. The next step. Now, find where you've written your SMART goal down, and below it, write your reason why statement using the 5 more things you've written in your list. So it should look something like this. To research, plan, write and publish an effective, easy-to-implement goal-setting book for all ages by the end of 2016. The reason this is important to me is that I have left this unfulfilled for far too long. It will allow me to share my knowledge and experience with many, many more people. It makes me feel great to be reaching out and helping more people around the world. It makes my work easier and will springboard my career and success to new heights. I feel great. Again, this isn't a marathon. Take your time. This is an important step. Once you've done it, read it both to yourself and out loud. How do you feel? It should make you feel really, really great. If it doesn't, put it to one side, have a cup of tea, and come back to it in a short while. You may even need to sleep on it. Perhaps read it before you go to sleep and look at it in the morning with fresh eyes. Rewrite it until it feels like an empowering statement. What if it still isn't empowering? In those cases where people have gone thoroughly through all the steps listed so far and they're not feeling absolutely great about their goal, there's usually only one or two reasons for this. 1. It isn't their goal. It's for someone else's benefit. Or 2. It will have a negative effect on someone you care about. If you're doing this for someone else, you almost always are destined to failure. If you visualize the outcome and you don't feel good, you're never going to put in the work needed to reach your goal. Likewise, if you visualize yourself achieving what you want, but can see how it will hurt or negatively impact those around you that you care about, you won't go the distance. In these cases, rethink your goal. Perhaps go back to the start of this book and read it again. You're almost there. This seems like a little step, but I can't stress how important it is to have a compelling reason why. The more you can think and visualize what it will look like, feel like, sound like, and be like once you have reached your goal, the higher the likelihood you are to win and hit your target. There's one more chapter to go. Are you ready? You're almost there. Set your goals in stone and your plans in sand. Chapter 5. Into action. By this stage, you should have solid, written down, dated SMART goals. You should also have a solid reason why your goal or goals are important to you. You should feel inspired and empowered when you read your goal statement. Now it's time for the work part. The truth. If you've listened this far, you must be serious about wanting to change things in your life. Having dreams and setting SMART goals is just the beginning. The sad truth of the matter is that the reason why most people do not achieve their goals or change their life situation is because they simply can't be bothered. Just reading this book or listening to this audio and writing your goals down won't make them happen. This chapter will focus on creating an action plan and developing the habits and mindset that will help you increase the success of achieving your goals. Dreams never quit on people. People quit on their dreams. The second truth. Now, even though you're going to have to get into action, it doesn't have to seem like a chore. If your reason why is big enough and your passion levels are where they need to be, you will be pulled towards your goal like a magnet. The trick here is don't focus on the work, visualize the outcome. Action step 1. We're going to start off easily. Your first task is to read your SMART goal and your reason why statement out loud if possible, at least twice a day. If all you can manage is twice a day, make sure it's directly before going to bed so that it's the last thing you're thinking about before you fall asleep, and allow your imagination to delve deep into how it's going to feel once you've reached your goal. The second time you do it is immediately upon awakening. Again, spend a little time dreaming and imagining what it will feel like to have reached your goal. Think about it as you get dressed, brush your teeth, have breakfast, drive to work. Do this for the next 7 days. By doing this for your first 7 days, you will be activating deep powers of imagination and creativity within you. You'll also most likely start to come up with some actions you can take to move closer towards your goal. Your passion to make it a reality will be totally fired up. You'll continue to do this exercise until you have finally reached your goal. Over time, you probably won't have to read what you've written. You'll have memorized it and can conjure up images of your success automatically. But it's still important to actually read what you've written. The reason for this is, like the game Chinese Whispers, sometimes we have a tendency to forget or change something without realizing it. Stick to what you've written Action Step 2. If you wish to think about this step over your first 7 days, please feel free to do so, but don't skip the action step above. For this step, you'll need to look at your SMART goal and your achievement date, because we're going to work backwards from you having reached your goal and create smaller action steps and goals to achieve over that time period. Note, for this example, I'm using a goal that has a target date of 12 months. Ask yourself, what has to happen 9 months from now for me to be on target to hit my goal? 6 months from now, what must I have achieved to be on target to reach my desired goal? Where do I have to be 3 months from now? 2 months from now, what must I have accomplished? 1 month from now, what must I achieve in the weeks of the first month? I'm sure you get the idea. We're simply breaking your major goal into smaller steps and goals that you can aim for as you journey towards your bigger picture. Action Step 3. So your next action step is to write these smaller goals down exactly as you did for your major SMART goal. Use the chapter on writing SMART goals as a guide. Now you have your roadmap. You're ready to fully begin your journey toward achieving your first goal. As said earlier in the book, if you're totally new to goal setting, just take one small goal to aim for at first. Once you've accomplished that one, set a slightly more ambitious goal, and so on. You'll find over time it becomes a fun and easy habit. So, to recap, in week 1, you'll focus on the goal you've written down for the first week, but visualize the big picture of the final goal. Week 2, focus on that goal and the next and the next. Simple, right? If you hit a challenge or find yourself falling behind track, don't get discouraged. Simply look at your plan and make some small adjustments. Does it mean you'll have to do more 1 week to catch up? Or do you need to push a goal date back? Remember, the objective is to reach your goal, not to do it perfectly. The most successful people fail their way to success. It's true. Almost every successful person has had to overcome adversity and failure, often much more than people that aren't as successful. It's their goal setting and action habits and their attitude and ability to visualize better situations that keeps them going, and that's how they have ultimately become so successful. Conclusion. I want to thank and congratulate you for listening this far. It's an accomplishment in itself, and you may not realize it, but you've just achieved your first goal. You may not have written a SMART goal to reach it or made an action plan to do it, but see what I was saying in the introduction? We set and achieve goals all the time. Although this book has been written predominantly for the individual just starting out with setting goals, the information contained in this short book can also be easily applied to businesses and companies. It's far from being an extensive guide to every single aspect of goal setting. That was not its aim. It is a primer, a first book to lead you on the right path to setting early basic goals. This is just the start of the journey. Hopefully you've enjoyed reading this book and applying some or all of the principles held within. The field of personal development goes much deeper than just goal setting. Setting goals and working towards them can change your life in amazing ways, but it is far from the end of the journey. It is my sincerest hope that my short, humble offering has offered you some insights into how you can help change yourself to create a better life for yourself and opened your heart and eyes to the wonderful world that lies ahead of you. If you found this book helpful, why not share it with people you know? After all, it's through helping others that we truly understand ourselves and the special powers hiding beneath the surface that all of us possess. Stop wondering what other people may or may not think of you. Isn't it time you started to choose to become the wonderful creation you truly are? If you choose to embrace your truth and invest daily effort to work on becoming the best person you can be, the world is truly yours to enjoy and explore. I wish you all the very best on your journey, and I'd love to hear your experiences and learnings. Please feel free to send me an email to let me know how you're getting on. Although I can't promise to respond to everyone, I try my best to make time to respond to as many as I can. Happy goal setting. May the future you create be happy and bright. A couple of closing ideas. Knowing when to finish a new book is always tricky especially when I have so much I want to share, and it's been hard to edit this work down to say what I needed to be said and not say too much to discourage the new goal setter from reading it. In closing, I'd just like to share a couple of ideas that you may want to add to your goal-setting journey to make it even more fun. 1. Create pictures of your big picture. If you're artistic, make a collage. If you want to get in shape, cut out pictures of how you see your body looking and glue your face onto it. Look at the picture to help you visualize your goal. 2. If your goal is to have or buy something, go look at it often and dream about how it will feel finally having it. If it's a car, go sit in it. Maybe even take it for a test drive. 3. You might even want to create your own goal-setting group. If there are a few of you that have set some goals, you can encourage each other, share success stories. It can be a team effort. The more you can make your dream seem real, the more passionate you'll feel about it, and the greater your chances of hitting your goal. Good luck, have fun, and enjoy the journey.